Again, this music is supposed to set the mood. Yeah, that'll make you mad. Again, our next reader, taking the place of Debbie Nolan, maybe. As she said, it was temporarily, so I don't know how you want to take that. Maybe she will read, maybe she won't. I don't know. Stay tuned, find out. In the meantime, Madge Gressley!
No, no spider, please. Oh. You'll have to pardon me. My voice is kind of hoarse this evening, and I may start coughing, but I'll do my best. My first these are short stories, not poems. My first one is entitled Where She Needed to Be. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Solemn beats from the old grandfather's clock's pendulum echoed up the stairs as it counted out the minutes from its corner on the main floor. The house began its nightly ritual to reclaim the solace from the chaos of the day. Its creaks and moans pierced the dead silence that waited on the brink of nothingness to engulf the house. Ghostly figures, trapped in their ornate gilded frames, stared down at the tiny creature as it skittered across the floor, perhaps to find an evening meal. The soft padding of bare feet was muffled by the dusty hall runner. They stopped and started, as though listening for something. She ignored the eyes of the ancient ones in their gilded frames that hung on the wall above her, the ones she could feel following her every footstep as she passed by, the ones who hid in the shadows where her candlelight couldn't reach. She knew they were there, waiting to reach out and pull her into their painted scenarios, locked behind layers of cracked and peeling paint. The flame of her candle that she had hurriedly stuck in the silver candlestick flickered precariously in the wind as she scurried down the hall. She cupped her small hand around the flame to protect it. It wasn't much further, the room where she needed to be. Why had she waited so long to start her journey there? Something cold touched her arm. She stopped, eyes wide, heart pounding, hands as cold as ice. She peeked over her shoulder into the dead black space behind her and shuddered. Her trembling hand held the candle up high in hopes of illuminating that dead space that spread out behind her. But the walls of darkness closed in and surrounded her pale pool of candlelight. She saw nothing, but she knew something was there, lurking in the darkness, just out of sight. She could feel it, its breath, glacier cold, its eyes ablaze with blue fire. She knew it was there. She had seen it in her dreams. Slowly, she lowered the candle and urged her lead feet forward. The blackness loomed in front of her. It seemed to stretch forever beyond the circle of the candlelight. It couldn't be much farther now, the room where she needed to be. Her breathing was coming in short gasps. Her feet moved, first one, then the other. Bong, bong, bong. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Startled by the striking of the hour that sent shockwaves through her body, she stopped. Breath held, heart pounding. She listened. The house moaned and popped and sighed. Houses don't sigh, do they? She questioned as goosebumps covered her body. Her hand trembled. The candlestick wobbled. Her other hand gripped the candlestick to steady it. She closed her eyes and willed her body to stop shaking. Freak! She jumped, her heart in her throat. She froze. She could feel that terrible monster right behind her, its cold breath on her back. She could hear the ancient ones laughing behind their painted faces. She had taken too long to get to the room where she needed to be. The flame of the candle flickered and sputtered. Her heart skipped a beat. The flame cannot go out, her mind screamed. She cupped her small hand around the flame and to shield it from the monster's breath, and she ran. Ran as fast as her feet would carry her into the darkness, shielding the flame, her lifeline. And then she saw it. The room, the door to the room where she needed to be. The room that would chase the monster away. The door that would hide her from the ancient ones. The door behind which she would be safe. She ran to the door of the room where she needed to be. It was just there. She reached out. Her fingertips touched the doorknob. Safety was just a knob turn away. And then she heard it. She felt it. Its breath now hot on her face. Its claws raking at her. The web entangling her. She screamed and lunged for the monster, away from the monster. Her feet tangled in its web. She tripped. The candlestick crashed to the floor. She felt herself falling and falling and falling. The sudden jolt as she hit the floor jarred her awake. Blue stood over her, licking her face between hot breath pants. She looked down. Her feet were tangled in Blue's leash, and she laughed. She was where she needed to be. This next one is a work in progress, and it has a working title called The Dilemma. It's not Halloween, but I thought I'd read it anyway. It has more to go to it, so we'll start out with this. It's called The Dilemma. Lightning flashed. Thunder boomed. The sky opened up. I ducked into the closest doorway and stepped in. Now, what are the odds that it would be another joint? I'd only been to 20 today looking for Frank's old lady. Damn Frank. Damn the ponies. My sure thing on the insider's tip finished last. If I hadn't asked Frank to loan me the scratch for the bet, I wouldn't be in this damn mess. Frank left me no choice. Pay up or lose a kneecap. Or do a favor. Deliver a message to his old lady. Well, since I didn't have the scratch, and I couldn't lose a kneecap, it only left delivering the damn message. I shook off the rain and let my eyes adjust to the low light. Smoke, heavy as rain outside, hung in the air. Taking in the lay of the land, I spied her. I spied the bar, a row of long empty stools lined up down the bar like silent soldiers. And there she sat, Frank's old lady. The broad I'd been chasing all day, her stiletto-clad heels, foot clicking time to the music out of the 1950s jukebox. Slim, ruby-red tipped nails, fingers held a long maxi cig. Smoke from the cig curled up and adding to the cloud that hung near the ceiling. I sauntered over across the floor and slid onto the bar stool beside her. Barkeep, I'll have what she's having, I drawled. The barkeep raised an eye and shrugged. I stared at the glass as he put it down on the bar in front of me. A pink cherry bomb, complete with mint leaf and cherry. Shit! I sucked it down in one gulp, tossed the cherry and the mint leaf in the nearest ashtray, and slammed the glass down upside down on the bar. No self-respecting dick would be caught dead with a pink cherry bomb. My self-respect restored, I turned to the broad and asked, "What's a good-looking dame like you doing in a joint like this?" It worked for Bogey, so why wouldn't it work for me? She turned, took a drag on the maxi long, and blew the smoke in my face. Gonna be a hard ass about this, I see. I stifled back a cough and held back an expletive. Look, honey, I said, narrow eyes narrowing as I leaned into. I'm here to deliver a message from Frank. I pulled back to watch her response. Frank? She questioned. Who the hell's Frank? Your husband, I choked out as another blast of smoke hit me in the face. Oh, her ruby red lips formed the perfect O. That Frank. Yeah, I said, that Frank. Well, what's the damn message? She swiveled on her chair to look at me. I stammered as I took in the 38 that suddenly appeared in her hand. She took another drag off the maxi long. Her lips were moving, but I wasn't hearing, still focused on the 38. Another blast of smoke hit me. I said, what's the damn message? She repeated through clenched teeth. It had better not be that he's going to be late again. I said I'd put a hole through him if he was late one more time. She nudged my knee with the 38. At that moment, I had no doubt the broad would shoot me in place of Frank. I considered my choices: deliver the message or lie, kneecap or bullet. Thanks.
May be leaving for now, but the nightmares will return.